scientists have found the most likely source of Yemen's cholera epidemic, which is the worst in recorded history. Using genomic sequencing, researchers at the Wellcome Center Institute and Institute Pasteur concluded the strain of cholera originated in Eastern Africa and was carried to Yemen by migrants. They hope the data will help estimate the risk of future outbreaks and be used to better target interventions. Since 2016, the epidemic has affected 1 million people and caused 770 deaths. It has amplified the suffering of civilians caught up in a 3-year civil war between forces loyal to the internationally recognized President Abdul Mansur Hadi, who is backed by a Saudi-led coalition, and the rebel Houthi movement. As a result of the fighting and a partial blockade by the coalition, some 16 million Yemenis lack access to safe drinking water, sanitation and basic health care, and 10 million do not know where their next meal will come from. Cholera is an acute diarrheal infection caused by ingestion of food or water contaminated with the bacterium Vibrio cholerae. In severe cases, the disease can kill within hours if left untreated. Yemen has experienced 2 waves of cholera cases since the war began, according to the World Health Organization. To understand the nature of the strain of bacteria behind the epidemic, the researchers sequenced the genomes of 42 cholera samples collected in Yemen itself and from a Yemeni refugee center on the Saudi Arabia-Yemen border, along with 74 other cholera samples from South Asia, the Middle East, and Africa. They were compared to a global collection of more than 1,000 cholera samples from the current and ongoing pandemic, known as the 7th cholera pandemic, which began in the 1960s and is caused by a single lineage of Vibrio cholerae. The researchers found that the cholera strain causing the Yemen epidemic was related to one first seen in 2012 in South Asia that had spread globally, but also that the Yemeni strain did not arrive directly from South Asia or the Middle East. This particular cholera strain was circulating and causing outbreaks in Eastern Africa between 2013 and 2014. Prior to appearing in Yemen in 2016, the findings contradicted previous theories that the 2 waves of cholera in Yemen were caused by 2 different strains. Knowing how cholera moves globally gives us the opportunity to better prepare for future outbreaks. This information can help inform strategies for more targeted interventions with the ultimate aim of reducing the impact of future epidemics, said Professor Nick Thompson of the Wellcome Center Institute. The researchers also surprisingly discovered that the strain in Yemen was less resistant to antibiotics than most strains of cholera that have caused epidemics, making itself more susceptible to treatment. Despite the ongoing war in Yemen, it has remained a transit country, thousands of migrants escaping deteriorating economic and political situations in African countries and seeking opportunities in the Arabian Peninsula. In 2017, more than 87,000 migrants from the Horn of Africa came to Yemen, undertaking the often perilous journey across the Red Sea and the Gulf of Aden. A popular tourist attraction, has become the latest Chinese company to show solidarity with Huawei's chief finance officer, Meng Wanzhou, who was arrested in Canada on 1 December. Shannon Mountain Scenic Park, in eastern Hainan province said it would waive the $9.65 yuan ticket fee for anyone carrying a Huawei phone. Ms. Meng, who was given bail in Canada, faces extradition to the United States on charges of breaking Iran sanctions. Her case has upped tensions with China. Use Huawei phones. shoot grand photos on the mountain. A notice on the Shannon Park's social media account said, "We wish friends around the world who support Huawei's success and bliss." The offer would last until 29 December, the South China Morning Post reported. But it was met with some criticism among China's social media users, who claimed it was discriminatory. Huawei phone owners are being offered other enticements too. They can get a 20% discount at a border in Beijing. Seen in Beijing, bring a Huawei phone and get 20% off. Similar to this story we covered yesterday, https://QQXL19YPQLPIC. Twitter.com Sokolov. End of Twitter post by @LuOceanG. At least one firm has threatened to penalize anyone buying Apple products. A few days ago, Manpad Shenzhen-based LED and display manufacturer offered subsidies to any employees buying Huawei phones. It also pledged to fine anyone who bought an Apple iPhone. United States prosecutors alleged Ms. Man
46
used the Huawei subsidiary called Skycom to evade sanctions on Iran between 2009 and 2014. They also alleged she publicly misrepresented Skycom as being a separate company from Huawei, and that she deceived banks about the true relationship between the two companies. Ms. Man, who is the daughter of Huawei's founder, has denied any wrongdoing and said she will contest the allegations. Life of Huawei's high-flying errors. The United States has been investigating the Chinese telecoms giant, the world's second-largest smartphone maker, since 2016, believing that it used Skycom to bring United States manufacturing equipment and millions of dollars in transactions to Iran in violation of sanctions. Ms. Man's detention comes amid an increasingly acrimonious trade dispute between Washington and Beijing. China is angry at her detention, saying she has not violated any laws. Beijing has threatened severe consequences unless Canada releases the executive. Since her arrest, 2 Canadians, a former diplomat and a businessman, have been detained in China on suspicion of harming national security. United States President Donald Trump said last week that he might intervene in the United States Justice Department's case against Ms. Man if it would serve national security interests. I'll help achieve a trade deal with China if I think it's good for what will be certainly the largest trade deal ever made, which is a very important thing. What's good for national security? I would certainly intervene if I thought it was necessary, he told Reuters news agency. Canada reacted by urging Mr. Trump not to politicize the situation. Our extradition partners should not seek to politicize the extradition process or use it for ends other than the pursuit of justice, Foreign Minister Chrystia Freeland said. 2 Scandinavian women tourists have been found dead in Morocco, with cords to their necks, the country's interior ministry said. Both bodies were found near the town of Imleo in the High Atlas mountain range, near the foot of North Africa's highest peak, Mount Tepco. The women, from Denmark and Norway respectively, have not yet been named. A police investigation has been launched into their deaths, the Interior Ministry statement said. The United States military says it has killed 62 fighters from the Islamist group Al-Shabaab in 6 airstrikes in Somalia. 4 airstrikes on Saturday killed 32 militants, and a further 2 on Sunday killed 28, it said in a statement. These were the deadliest air attacks in Somalia since November 2017, when the United States said it had killed 100 militants. Somalia has seen a sharp increase in the number of airstrikes and casualties since President Donald Trump took office in the United States. In January 2017, a tally by the Bureau of Investigative Journalism reveals that at least 400 people have been killed in airstrikes since the beginning of 2017, far more than the previous 10 years combined. The latest strikes bring to at least 40 the number carried out in Somalia so far this year, compared with 35 recorded in 2017. The United States has a huge military base in neighboring Djibouti, from where it launches attacks on the militants. Mr. Trump gave the United States military greater authority in March 2017 to attack militants in Somalia. Traditionally, United States presidents have been wary of intervening in Somalia since ATN Special Forces soldiers died fighting militias in the capital Mogadishu in 1993, a battle dramatized in the film Black Hawk Down. No civilians were killed in the latest airstrikes, which were carried out in coordination with the Somali government.